Hi guys, EJ from MakrToolbox, and I wanted to make a shelf. I've been wanting to make this for a couple days now. Basically, once I finished the Zabuza sword that I did last week, I had some extra parts. I have an extra handle and miscellaneous parts. I found some scrap plywood. I wanted to make a shelf, and I wanted it to be kind of cool, so I decided I would make a shelf that looked like an axe or a sword kind of stuck into a wall. And so I hopped on Corel and I drew up this, cut it onto cardboard, traced it out on the plywood, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it out and see if I can't make a floating shelf that looks like an axe swung into a wall. Thought that'd be kind of neat. Well, let's get going. I went ahead and cut out the part here and did a pretty good job sanding it down. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's getting painted anyway. And we'll be having to fill in some of these voids later. But I went around and started putting a little bit of a shape on the edges here to give it that axe shape. I am going to go ahead and put a lip, an 1/4 inch lip right around this so that I can put in some clear acrylic pieces here to make it more useful as a shelf. But and we'll be lasering those here in a little bit. I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch rabbiting bit set to 1/4 inch. So I'll get that done. And we can get clean this up and turn it into a shelf. Got it cut out. I went ahead and put the little ledge in there for our clear acrylic. Now I'm trying to remove material, and I've got quite a bit of material to go through to make it look like this has an edge. And you know, we'll do a little bit with paint to make it look like it has an edge, but it needs to be somewhat sharpish. And I'm going to do something unorthodox and use a grinder, which is not as it's intended, but I did try it on a scrap piece, and it actually worked really, really well. So I think this is going to do what we wanted to do, and it beats the heck out of sitting here with an orbital sander for 3 hours. So I'm going to put an edge on these, and then we can get on to the next step of our axe shelf. So we'll see you in a few minutes. The grinder actually worked really well. Then I cleaned it up with the orbital. It's kind of a blunt instrument and takes quite a bit off. But man, that saved a huge amount of time. And I don't know if you can see that, but it actually kind of looks like an axe edge. So just gotta do the other side. Then we can continue on. Okay, so I used the router and the chisel and a lot of elbow grease to kind of hollow out this part of it here, and that fits in right here. So this will kind of go in right like that, and then we will do some epoxy, and there we have the main body of the axe done. So now it's just cleaning everything up and getting our acrylic in, and then paint, and then mounting it on the wall. So let's get cleaned up and we'll move on to the next step. I went ahead and did the Bondo, and I cut out the acrylic inserts, and they fit really nice. So those just kind of sit there like this, and once I get it all painted and everything, I'll peel off the paper. So those will sit there like that, and that just basically gives it a little bit more surface area. But they're clear, so you should still look like an axe. I put the Bondo just to kind of fill that in there. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do here. I'm going to decide that next. But got it all nice and smooth. Had a couple little voids, filled those in too. So next step is to start with embellishments and paint. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I'm going to do there. I think I've got some leather that I bought from Amazon, a roll of leather. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that into some small strips and start with the handle and embellishments and design and paint. So we'll start making it pretty, and then we'll get it hung up on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, so I just wanted to give you an update and see what happened here. So as far as embellishments, I did the holes here, routed that out, cleaned it all up, and the idea is I'm going to have some leather wrapping around that. And then I kind of wanted like a design on the bottom of it, because it's a shelf, so the bottom's not going to be have anything on it. So I found a salted cross, and I lasered that on it, and that was a little bit of work to get that all lined up. But the easiest way to do it is, you kind of put something over it and then kind of do some tests on it to make sure it's going to look the way you want it and it's going to be lined up the way you want it. And then once you know that it's going to be on there the way you want it, then you just remove everything and just let it go right onto that. It's not 100% perfect, but it will not be noticeable for what I'm doing. And then I'll paint this gold, and then do the rest of my work here with the blade and all that. So I'm gonna get to work, finish painting, and we'll talk to you a little bit. All right, so I just wanted to give you an update on what we've done. I went ahead and painted the blades on both sides. I crammed this entire thing somehow into the laser and engraved this Celtic cross design on there. And what I did is I put blue tape down first and then engraved it and then painted and then took the blue tape off. It had a little bit of mistakes on there where it had bled through. And the way I fixed that is I just used a very fine, very small paintbrush and just took my flat brown and sprayed it real close up onto a piece of paper and just touched it up with the paintbrush. And that seemed to work really well. So cleaned it up nice. So I'm just going to kind of let everything sit and make sure it's all good and dry. And then I'm going to poly the whole thing. So I'm just going to put some water-based poly over the whole thing, just so the paint that's there stays there and it doesn't get any more marks on it. This flat paint tends to mark up really easily, so I'm going to poly the entire thing so it will stay exactly like I got it, which is what I want. So I'm going to get that done. And hopefully I'll get that done yet today. And then we can get her home.